Hey everybody, it's Liz. I'm back after 2 weeks of not really crafting. I had the kids home from winter break. They finally went back to school today. Yay! I mean, I miss them and all, but you know, I need my break. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to share with you some cards that I made. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And I thought I'd get a early start since last year I waited till the last minute, didn't get a lot of things done. I think most of us are like that. But anyways, I just thought I'd make a couple of cards, and I'm going to do something different this year. My husband has says that, I should start selling my cards, and so I thought, why not, right? I'm supposed to be in a shopping freeze. He's not going to be giving me any money, so maybe y'all can help, a girl out here. So these cards are all for sale. If you guys are interested in purchasing any of the cards, I'm going to go, each one at a time, and then I'll tell you the price and all that stuff. But hopefully you guys like them, and maybe someone will buy them. That'd be cool. Anyways, guys, let me start off by saying that because I am in a freeze, I'm not really supposed to be doing any shopping. I know I did a little bit the other day, but that's okay. My goal this year is to use as much as I have in my projects. And so when I made these cards, I kept that in mind. I only used what I had. I didn't have to purchase anything. I used all the dies that I had, used all the papers and embellishments that I had, and did not purchase a single thing. So I am so proud of myself for doing that. And so anyways, enough rambling. Let me show you what I created. Okay, I'm going to start off with this one here. I think this one might be my favorite. I'm not sure yet. I think they all turned out pretty cute. But anyways, this is a 6x6 card. And it's pretty big and very heavy. There's a lot of layering going on, and I wanted it to, be quite dimensional. And I apologize if it's a little dark. I'm right by a window, and my body is blocking some of the light, so hopefully you guys are still able to see that. But anyways, let me show you real quick the paper collection I used. This is an older one. I picked it up maybe 2 years ago. This one right here, K & Company. Kelly Panacci, I think. I'm not sure. I'm probably butchering the last name. But this is the paper pad I use. It's 12 by 12 by K & Company. And then I use the coordinating die cuts. These here. And there's a ton of die cuts in here. I've had this, I think I've used it, maybe 2-3 different Valentines in a row, and I still have a ton of die cuts in there. It says it's 94 pieces. Sorry about the glare. But I love these. These are so cool. And that's really it. I mean, everything else was just dies and little things here and there, but really pretty. I think it came out really nice. So I layered, different pattern papers and stuff, and I used foam tape, like I said, to give it dimension. I really wanted to use this glittery paper in the background. I think it's really pretty, and it just adds like a, really nice effect. Okay, one thing that I did keep in mind is all these little cute die cuts. They have like, really playful sayings, like your tweet Valentine, stuff like that. And so what I wanted to do is obviously find a die or a theme that would go with those little, sentiments. And for this one, of course, had to use the Birdcage. And this one is the Birdcage by Tim Holt. I think most of us have this one. And I thought it was really cute, so bird theme and all. And so I basically just die cut it out of chipboard, and then I die cut it, the pattern paper that I adhered over that. I inked the edges a little bit, just in some pink from like the dollar, what is it? The dollar little ink pads from Michaels that I already had. I didn't have to purchase them. And I just inked that a little bit, and then I wanted to add, these cute little acrylic gems down at the bottom, so I just used some jump rings, and I added those so they kind of, jingle, and it's really pretty effect there. And then down here, this is just a couple of strips from the same collection that I used my Martha Stewart punch on. Just wanted like a cute little lace look, and I just layered those one over the other. Really pretty. And now over here, of course, here's the little die cut that I used. Very cute. And I wanted to do some flowers, but I wanted to go ahead and use what I had. These flowers I made using the Spellbinders Bitty Blossoms die. I've had it for quite a while, and I've never used it, to be honest. Sometimes, we get lazy and we don't want to make our own flowers. We just grab some. But for this case, I said, no, got to use them. And it was so worth it because it came out so cute. And it's actually really easy. It wasn't hard at all to make these. And, you can determine the size depending on how much you want to coil, the paper. Or, turn the paper or whatever, but these are so pretty. And I just made them out of the scraps from the same paper collection. The leaves are by Spellbinders. They're foliage, I think it's foliage 1. And then I just die cut them using one of the green sheets that's in the paper pad, and then I inked the edges a little bit. So it matches that perfectly. Really cute. So just a little cute little cluster up there. Here I've got a little corner piece. This is also by Spellbinders. And then I just added a little, gem right here. And you can see the bird in the background. Again, same thing over here. Look at the flowers. Aren't they cute? And they're so little. Like some of them I make them, smaller. It comes with like 3 different sizes. So super cute. And then I just added the little leaves here as well. I added some ribbon for my stash and the cute little heart gem for the center. And that was it. Really, really cute card. I think it turned out awesome. This one, I think, let me see, this one, because it was, I made the flowers and they took them a little longer. And I think I'm going to ask for $9.50 on this one. I think that's what I decided. I wrote it down somewhere. $9.50 for this one, plus shipping. I'll ship anywhere. You let me know where you want me to send it. And of course, if you want to buy more than one, that's awesome. I'll combine them together. I'll give you the best price I can. I'm not trying to make like, a whole lot of money here or anything. I just thought I'd maybe try to, sell a couple of my cards. Why not? And if I don't sell them, then I don't sell them. No big deal. But anyways, if anyone is interested, this one I'm going to go for $9.50, okay? And all you have to do is, just send me a private message or whatever, and I'll get these out as soon as possible. And, we could do PayPal and all that stuff so you guys feel comfortable. Okay, here's my next card. I really like this one too. I really, really do. I think it came out really, really cute. Again, the same paper collection, same type of embellishments for all of these, using my dies. Of course, you guys recognize the Vintage Typewriter by Tim Holtz. And this one I was inspired because of this. I knew I wanted to use this sentiment, P.S. I love you, from the die cut collection. And so I thought maybe like, like a letter, having to do with writing a letter, things like that. So that's where we went with the typewriter. And again, I just layer, different pieces of pattern paper on there. This one here, I used a punch. This is an EK Success punch that kind of looks like, like the binder. And I thought that would go well with the typewriter or, letter writing theme. So I just did that on one of the edges, almost like it looked like it was a page torn from a notebook. So I thought that was cute. I have a doily in the background, just a regular paper doily. I think these are from Michaels, and I've had them in for a while, but these were the perfect size because they're 5.5, so it didn't take up the entire, card. I think most of the doilies are like 6 inches, so this one was perfect. And then again, the typewriter is just, die cut from chipboard, and then I die cut the pattern paper that I adhered over that. And this is from the little die cuts that I showed you. And since there's a slit right here in the typewriter, I did have to cut this down a little bit to make sure that it fit. But I liked it because it looks like, that's the letter that you're typing up. So I thought that was cute. And it says 10 Reasons I Love You. And it's got like a little bit of a foil finish, I think. If that's what you want to, I don't know if that's what it's called, but I thought that was pretty. And then up here, again, going with the letter theme, I've got like this little cute die cut stamp. And then I just added like a little paper clip, a little Tim Holtz paper clip right there. So, kind of cute. Kind of, to make it look sort of like an envelope, if you will. And then over here, I've just got some seam binding that I dyed using some, I forgot what pink I used, but it turned out perfect because it goes really well. And so I just crinkled that up. I have the ribbon coming, down here, and then I just made a little bow, and I added this cute little pearl brad to the center of the bow. So super cute. This one's really, really cute. And I think this one I'm going to sell for $9.50 to you guys. So because they're bigger ones, the 6x6, they're just bigger. But it turned out really, really cute. And as you can see, it's quite dimensional. I've got some, foam tape under there to give it dimension. They're pretty heavy too from all the layering, but really, really cute. Okay, and then my next one. These are going to be $8.50 each, and these are 5x7. Again, that's a really good size. As you can see, it's bigger than my hand. And again, this one I went with the sentiment. It said, "So happy you're mine." I thought that was cute, so why not do like a sewing theme? And that's what I decided to do for this particular card. So then I just layered my pattern papers. I wanted sort of like a lace look. And so I used, again, my Martha Stewart punch on some of these paper strips that I added underneath. So I've got I kind of wanted to look like a pocket, you know, like a little pocket. I should have done some stitching, you know, to go more with the sewing thing, but I didn't think of it until just now. Anyway, so I've got, you know, a couple little strips here, and then down here, sort of like, you know, to make the pocket. And this would be the top of the pocket. This is just a half doily that I adhered on there, and I used some ribbon, and again, a little heart gem on top of that little bow, really cute. And I used my Bow Easy, you guys, to make these bows. I'm so thankful for that Bow Easy, because the bows that I make are horrible. It's so easy to use too, so I'm glad I got that thing. So I've got that, and then I have, of course, you know, the sewing theme. I went with the sewing room dies from Tim Holtz. So I've got the dress form, I've got a couple of little chipboard buttons, and then the little spool. And then I just wrapped some twine around that, and of course I added twine to the buttons as well. And I did, you know, cut this out from a different piece of paper to make a dress for the dress form. I added some pearls. This is one of the die cut pieces from the same collection, and I just kind of have that tucked behind the little mannequin. So super cute. I think it came out darling. And this piece here was actually in the paper pad. There's a page that has, you know, a couple of you know, sentiments or little cards, and so I just kind of cut around it because it was really big. It wasn't going to fit on here. And then I've got it, you know, popped up with some foam squares and stuff. So really cute. So it's like a little, you know, little sewing pocket, if you will. Now, I did forget to mention, I did not finish any of the cards on the inside, just because I will if you want me to, but I just don't know how much room you want for your message, you know what I mean? But if you want me to, I'll be glad to add, you know, like another piece of paper here, or decorate it, if you will. I don't have a problem doing that at all. I just didn't want to, you know, make like a small area, and maybe it's not enough for you guys to write a message. So but you know, let me know, like I said, and I can change that for you. So this one's $8.50, like I said, plus shipping. And then here's another one, you guys, and I think this one was so cute too. This was the first one I made. And like I said, I was inspired to use all the stuff that I had, all the different dies. I had purchased this Gumball machine die, oh my gosh, months ago, and have not used it. So, I mean, I had to use it. Let me show you what it is. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby, and oh, it was so cute. It came with a the coordinating embossing folder, but this is it right here. So it's the Sizzix Gumball machine. Really cute. And it comes with the, comes with the embossing folder. Okay, look how cute, right? So I knew I had to use it. It was so cute. And, you know, I die cut it out of the paper, and I did emboss it, you know, just to give that cool detail. Sorry about the glare. There's some acetate right here. I wanted a realistic, like a glass look. This piece here, I did add foam tape, you know, to give dimension. You know, it's the little flap that opens up, and I thought that came out really cute. And I wanted, you know, like I said, a glass look, so I used acetate on there that I adhered with glossy accents, and then I cut out a bunch of these little hearts from one of the papers, and I just sort of kind of have them layered on there, almost like, you know, it's little heart candy. So I thought that was really cute. And I just wrapped some twine, I tied a little bow, and I added these cute little tags here. These little tags come in the die cut collection as well. That one says Forever, and then it's XOX. So I thought that was super cute, and I just kind of, you know, have them on the side there. And let me see what else. I've got a doily in the background, as you can see, the same doilies that I picked up at Michael's. And then I've got another one of these cards. I thought these were super cute too. So 10 Reasons I Love You. And then up here, I've got, these are borders from the same collection by K & Company. And so I just kind of cut it to fit across, and then it fits on this bottom as well. So it's a cute little detail. And then I just have, you know, different paper on there from the same collection. I think it came out really cute. I love this. My only regret is the glossy accents. I wanted like a smooth look. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but see how, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm being picky, but other than that, I think it came out really cute. So I love this one, the Gumball machine. And again, this one's $8.50. And then here's the last one, you guys. Okay, super cute. Love the mason jar. Oh my gosh, super cute. Let me show you the die that I used on that. Again, I picked this up at Hobby Lobby the same day I picked up the Gumball. It was a while back, oh my god, maybe 3-4 months ago. But it's the mason jar by Sussex. And again, this also comes with the matching embossing folder. Look how cool, right? Love it. So that's what I did with this one. And with this one, I wanted to use the mason jar because of these little hearts. I thought how cute it would look to have a jar full of the, you know, the little chit-chat hearts, right? I thought that would be cute. So that's why I did that. So I just have, you know, pattern paper on there. I've got some ribbon that goes across. I've got half a doily in the background. And then I have this, the mason jar matted onto some cardstock, like 2 different pieces of cardstock, and it is dimensional. Okay. And so then I just die cut the pattern paper using the mason jar in like a light pink. And then I wanted it to be like a frosted mason jar, so then I die cut it again using vellum. And I knew I was going to hear the vellum on top, and so I embossed just the vellum to give it, you know, some of this detail using the coordinating embossing folder. And then I adhered the vellum on there, of course, after I, you know, put all my little hearts on there. Super cute. And then for this area here, I like this because let me see if it's going to show it. If you guys are not familiar with the mason jar die, it might not really see. It comes with like the little, you know, different pieces here. And so these I die cut using Tim Holtz, what's that stuff called? The foil. And so I wanted that, you know, to have like that silver look. So pretty cool, right? So I just adhere those on there, and then some twine, and again some cute little tags from the die cut collection. And then here's a sentiment. It just says I love you. And actually I need to put another piece of foam tape right underneath here. But other than that, it'll be good to go. But really pretty. And then I just made a bow. And this bow was actually quite easy. I just sort of wrapped the ribbon around my hand and then added some, tied it in the middle with some floss, the DMC floss. And then I added a button, and I've got some twine on the button. Really cute. I think it's not really cute. And I love how pink it is. Very satiny. And then the corners here, I just used a stamp, this little tiny stamp that I had. I think it's by 7 Gypsies. And I just stamped that with some pink ink, and then I used a little rhinestone in the corner. I did the same thing over here. So, really cute. I love it. And I was so proud of myself that I did not have to run to the store and get anything. You know, I just said, nope, stick with what you got, do what you have, use what you have, and just work with it, right? And I really think they came out super cute. Now, I have about 4, maybe 5 different Valentine's Day pads, and I'm going to challenge myself to use each one this month, because I've had some of them for years, and it's just not cool. I mean, what's the point of us buying the stuff if we're not going to use it? You know what I mean? Can't take it with me when I go, right? So I got to use it up. Anyways, guys, if anyone is interested in purchasing some of my cards, I would be so grateful. Just send me a private message. If you want to purchase them all, that's cool. Whatever, but I'd love it. You guys can help me out, because I've got a couple of little things that I kind of want to purchase. So anyway, I know you're enabling me, but it's okay. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all real soon. Bye-bye.